How do you all sort of rationalize the actual tech? So that you mentioned Copilot, and Copilot is world-class, of course, but there are other options, there are other platforms, there are other frameworks, other vendors, but for every component, if you will, within the entire process flow. How do you as an organization sort of rationalize which way to go with the technology or whether to adopt the technology at all?
So it's definitely not just financial, but that is part of it. So your typical cost-benefit analysis, right? How much is this going to cost us and what benefit do we think we'll get from it in the short, medium and long term? There's also an element of understanding that you need some faith in the experts within the company. It's very easy to make commercials look good, but making them real in terms of projections is incredibly difficult. And so you do need a bit of faith in the people that are experts in each particular area, be that the technology side, the product side, commercial, legal, and so on. We don't have a procurement team at Lebara, which is a blessing and a curse. The blessing is that it means that the experts are very closely involved when we're considering working with a new vendor or working with a new technology. The curse is that it's a lot of work for people to do that aren't dedicated to that kind of thing. So cost saving is part of that. The other part is strategic alignment. So is it a company that shares our ambition and our goals to actually transform, or is it just a software that does what it does, you pay a certain amount for it and you get what you get? And so looking at best in class providers that do a number of things well versus best in breed providers, which is a company that does one thing exceptionally well, is something we consider. So to give you an example, we use Microsoft Dynamics, which I would consider best in class. It does lots of things well. But for our chatbot, we use OneReach, who are very much a niche, best in breed chatbot and AI expert. It's a little bit of science in terms of the numbers, but there's a little bit of art to it as well. Is, does this company share our ambition? Where will we see ourselves with this company in 3 years' time, 5 years' time?
I think for those companies that are looking to become purely digital, and obviously Lebara being an MVNO is purely digital, I think it's very, very important to put a lens on about your technology stack. Okay, so by technology stack, I'm not just talking about your development frameworks, I'm actually talking about everything. So I'm talking about your computers, your hardware, your software, your Oracle, the whole thing. And it's actually important for the CIO to look at that as something that needs to deliver ROI, okay? Because if you think about it, what percentage of time is your cloud, the cloud that you got, whether on-prem or off-prem, what percentage of time is it sitting idle doing nothing? Or what percentage of time is it sitting semi-idle doing sort of standard queries? Why isn't it doing AI calculations? Why isn't it doing AI or data mining and looking at features? So it's very, very important to look at the technology stack from the ROI sense and say, well, okay, I've got all this computing power, but it's doing nothing about developing trends that exist in my data. So it's a very, very different lens to look at in terms of the technology stack.